Okay, so where are we now? Uh, Time and how much time gets spent on this kind of stuff. Obviously, that's a bit relative depending on the situation you find yourself in and what you've got to deal with, etc., etc. And in that respect, I'm in the middle of uh, trying to roll the smoke while I'm carrying on with this, and none of nothing I've presented so far in this playlist of videos is scripted in any way. I've just been doing it as I go along, trying to address uh, the sort of process as I feel it's relevant. So the first few videos I put up are trying to lay out some details of what has been the developing situation as it's been ongoing. I haven't included everything that I feel is relevant because, again, referring to time, that would add up to a lot more time, a lot more stuff, and really I think I've shown enough for, hopefully, for you to see that there is this situation going on. Given enough details to show that there is problems arising and conflicts arising out of the way this situation has unfolded and developed. There are, like I say, there's other videos and stuff on the YouTubes, and there's comments under various videos because it got a bit fragmented as comments were exchanged on one video or another, so the timeline crosses over a bit in that respect. So again, it's there if people really want to go and look for it to get the context or the background or whatever. It's there for you. I haven't changed anything. I haven't removed any of my comments or anything like that. Whether it remains that way, I mean, the date now today is the 13th of the 2nd, 2015. So whether any of those videos are changed by Crossman or comments altered or whatever, I can't say. That is another aspect in respect of being responsible or being culpable for other people's activity. Sort of include that into this section on time. Where is the time? How much time are you expending on dealing with this kind of stuff? How much of your time does it consume? And that time consumption can be an effect that is applied to you through no fault of your own. In a very Kafkaesque fashion, you may have no knowledge of what's been going on in the background, in the shadows, such that it has a knock-on effect to you, almost in a way like a false flag. It's like, I'm not responsible for what other people are doing out there on the internet. If someone or people, groups of people, have been trolling Crossman or harassing him in various ways such that he's ended up feeling pushed, or even maybe without realising it, unconsciously he's been pushed towards this direction, such that he reacts in this fashion. And I know in relevance to this I'm speaking of him and referring to him just simply because that's relevant to this current situation. But of course, that's applies to anyone and everyone in that kind of way. Yeah, I cannot be held responsible or culpable for what other people are doing. So, if you find yourself in that situation, that brings you to that point of, well, how do I address what is now being directed at me, what I'm being blamed for or accused of because of the actions of others? Yeah. And I find the only thing you can do, really, if you can't, you could either, well, just maybe one other thing that you could do, you could put in the effort to try and track down who is the genuine culprit. So you could go to that effort of trying to figure out who it is that's attacking the other person and find evidence to back that up and whatever. Or you can just put yourself up front and say, look, there's nothing here that shows that I'm connected with this. If you feel you've got something that incriminates me, please show it. I'm here, I'm out in the open. Show me what I'm accused of, show me the evidence. This is what I mean, it becomes quite Kafkaesque, because even though I know who my accuser is in this situation, being Crossman, I don't really know what the evidence is and what exactly it is I'm being accused of. I mean, he called me a shill, he called me scum and whatever, it's by the by, it's ad hominem. So it's not really relevant in a objective, evidential fashion or a reasoned fashion or whatever. So it's a little bit, you could find yourself in that Kafkaesque situation, and the way the internet goes with stuff like this, it can be worse, a lot worse than that. If you're getting people that are totally unknown to you in any way, and they can be somewhat amorphous in an online sense of constantly swapping and changing identities, using sock accounts, sock puppet accounts and things like that. So, how much time do you expend on that? This is why, from my own point of view, I've found through experiencing this in other situations, this not the first time I've sort of gone through this kind of stuff. This is probably one of the most extensive is not the right word, but it seems to be the most implicated. Again, I'm struggling to find a good descriptive word to match what I mean. But with the history that I had previously with Crossman, and with all the stuff we're doing with the kind of the hangouts and whatever, which seem to be a big bone of contention for him, at the hangouts we're doing at the moment, so that makes it a bit more sort of relevant in a sort of a way that makes me more inclined to put more effort than I would usually into addressing this. That was what then, when thinking about it, I thought, well, yeah, okay, I'll put in the effort to actually put together these videos, and maybe we can actually get something constructive out of this. But in that respect of when I've dealt with this kind of stuff before, I would often just, as I say, I'd put myself up front, I'd step out there and go, okay, here's me, show me what you want, show me what you're accusing me of, show me what the evidence or argument is, and we can move on from there. And for the vast majority of situations, most of the time, the accuser either vanishes or they back down and they will try a different tactic of some kind. I don't want to sort of verge this off into talking about trolls and trolling and stuff like that. There's a lot of information on the YouTubes. If you want to find out more about that kind of stuff, there's loads of stuff already out there. So I'm not going to try and sort of define what a troll is and what they do and the kind of ways they interact with you. And that's purely taking it from the point of view of what I'd call a genuine troll, somebody who's not affiliated to some kind of agency or agenda. They're not a paid operative in any kind of fashion. They're just, for some other reason, they like to maliciously annoy people, to the point of, as we know, that kind of bullying gets to the extent of doing people real mental harm and potentially even leading to suicide. So that's trolling, yeah. So I'm not trying to address that. Finish what I was doing while I'm trying to talk at the same time. This is the thing, how much time consumption do you spend on this kind of stuff? And I feel it is primarily related to how damaging do you think it could be to you or to what you're doing. Is it denigratory to the information you're trying to share, or to what you're trying to talk to people about, or whatever particular it is you do with your channel or the way you do stuff online. You might not have a channel, you might just be posting and sharing stuff online. So it's that consideration of, is it worth the time and effort to expend in approaching it from that more sort of investigatory fashion, putting more energy into actually rooting out the problem. Of course, you've also got the third option, which is just ignore it all. Just ignore the whole lot and just carry on about your day. Possibly even block or ban people, or depending on what kind of format you're on. When you're doing your stuff online, YouTube, you block people. Google Plus, you block people. If it's on a forum site, it'd be banning people from the forum site. You know what I mean. So you can do that. You can block it and walk away. And again, for a large amount of this kind of interaction, that's probably your best option, because you're going to waste the least amount of time and energy and concern and worry and whatever else. And a lot of the time, for the kind of people that will attack you in this fashion, as I say, there might be trolls, there might not be, they might have other reasonings for what they're doing. But for those kind of people that will kind of try to generate this kind of internet drama, if you just ignore them, it frustrates them to such a degree that they tend to expend their energy fairly quickly. A little bit like the kind of whirling dervish spinning top effect. If you pay them no attention, they turn in on themselves and they spin so fast trying to chase their own tail to get attention from you that the energy is expelled fairly quickly and they'll move on quite quickly. So it can be, as I say, it can be a really quick and easy and time saving way of dealing with this stuff, and it's the most common way that I think most people deal with it. Simple, quick and easy, block, ban, move on, go about your day, do your stuff. Other option, investigating it to try and figure out what's going on and stuff like that. I mean, that's to a large degree what I've been doing with this. And then there's that other option, which I'm sure I've already mentioned several times. Like I said, I'm not scripted here, I'm just talking. Where you can just stand forward and say, okay then, come on, bring your accusations, let's look at them, let's talk about it. You want to accuse me of something, prove it please, and we'll go from there. So obviously that's all up to you. As I said earlier, you're not responsible or culpable for what other people are doing online. So in a way you can end up being victim of a virtual false flag, a social media false flag, where somebody using a sock account or doing it via private messages and sending little wheedly bits of commentary to the recipient saying, oh, don't listen to him, he's a mason, oh, he's a copper, he's an agent, he's this, he's that, and they'll wheedle and wheedle and wheedle to get this aggression then targeted at you. So almost like a false flag, as I say. So how can you be responsible for that? I'm not omniscient, not yet anyway, not as far as I know. Considering how much I keep forgetting stuff, I really don't think so. But I can't know what everybody's doing out there. I can't know if somebody is trolling him or not. yeah, I'll leave it at that point because I'm running up to my time limit with this one anyway. I will probably be back to address some of the other bits and bobs that I've mentioned. Take care, folks.